Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. So I've been making and teaching how to make jewelry for a very long time now. And one of the things that I hear all the time is, you make it look so easy. Well, that's because I think it is. So I'm going to take some simple parts and some simple techniques, and I'm going to teach you how to make your very own jewelry. So if you want to see what I'm making today, come and join me. Okay, so to make our earrings today, I am going to be using some 20 gauge vintage bronze craft wire. I also have a pair of these 14 millimeter wild rose check glass beads, and I just love using these. They're just so full of detail and so pretty. And this particular one is code number CZ204105, and it's an ivory Picasso. And I just love the color because, you know, it's got that blue and brown thing, which I know I'm trapped in. I can't help it. I just can't seem to break out of that rut. Anyway, so we're going to be using those today. We also have a pair of Tiara cast ear wires, and we've got one of their little tiny textured rings. I think this is their hammer tone collection, and these are just like a little 8 millimeter one, I believe. We'll also be adding a little bit of bling today. We've got our little tiny spacers, and I think that's about a 6 millimeter. I don't have the code with me on that one today. And then I've got a 6 millimeter fire polish. I've also got these little hammered teardrop embellishments. And then I found these cute little embellishments in a cup the other day, and they're just so sweet. They're just a tiny little sort of a bell, and we'll use the side that has a little bit of dimpling on there. And then I've got some bead caps in an antique bronze finish. And then I have these 5x8 bells. They're a check glass, and this one is a stone turquoise wash, and it's just so lovely. And I'm going to show you how you can stack all these things together to create a really unique pair of earrings, and I think you guys are going to really love this one. So we're also going to use our tools today, our basic 4. We've got our cutters and our bent chain nose pliers, our pliers, and our round nose pliers. So let's get started. Now I know that I'm really well known for doing all of my leather things, but you know, with the store moving fully online in the next couple months, I have been busier than you know what. So I haven't had a lot of time to create really unique things. So you'll be getting some simple earring projects, but I figured, you know, everybody likes to wear earrings, and it's better than not having a project, right? So I'm going to cut myself a good healthy sort of 6 or 7 inches of that wire. Now if you get a kit, because as always this will be available in kit form, we'll give you one big long piece of wire. So make sure you cut it in half so that you've got 2 equal lengths. All right, and I always sort of straighten that out a bit before I get started. Let me just kind of move some stuff around here. Okay, so I cleaned a bunch of stuff off of my top here because there was just way too many things and it was far too busy even for my eyes. Okay, so I just cut my wire, and so now I'm going to just straighten it out a little bit. So now I want to go down about 1.5 inches or so, and I'm going to put my pliers on the wire, and now I'm going to tip it so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my thumbnail and I'm going to press right against my tool, using it as a nice sharp edge there so that I create that 90-degree bend. Now I am going to take my round nose pliers, and I am going to come in here, and I'm going to go just part way up and go up and over and straight down, and I am using my thumb and pressing firmly around that tool. Now I'm going to open up my pliers, rotate them so that they're parallel to the table, and then I'm going to take the wire that's in the front and pull it straight to the back. And now I can see that it's pretty much where I want it. I'm just going to rotate it to the right ever so slightly, just so that we end up with that nice little lollipop look. So now I want to place my little parts on. So I want to take my little sort of bell that I've got here, and I'm going to use the divots on the front. So I want to start with it facing up, and I'm going to run it through the end there. And just want to make sure that when you pop it in here, you don't misshape everything. So just be careful when you get that through there. And sometimes you just have to hold your tongue the right way. So now I'm going to take my little hammered teardrop here, and I want to make sure that that part is on the top too. And then I'm going to pop that in there. Now I'm going to turn that over, and I want to take my pliers and put them right across the front there. And now I'm just going to wrap. I'm going to use my fingers just so I have a little bit more control, but you can always use your bent chain nose pliers. So I'm going to go around a couple times, forming that nice and neat, and then I'm going to go down a couple times. So that's why we're not needing very much wire there. Now that one did kind of go awry, so what I'm going to do is grab the tip of the wire and pull it back, and it was right there that it kind of went wonky because I was getting a little too chatty and not paying any attention to what I was doing. So, you know, people always say to me, oh my gosh, like your wire wraps are just awesome. I can never do that. Well, sometimes mine aren't awesome. And you just have to boss it around. So see, I just kind of manipulated it right back where I wanted it, and there you go. So now I'm going to turn that over and get this out of the way. And sometimes I'll get hung up a little bit, but now I'm going to use the flush side and give that a little trim. Get rid of that little piece there. And now I want to have this facing me so that I can see where the little burr is on the end. And I'm going to take the tip of my tool and just push that down ever so slightly. I don't want to push too much because I can wreck all my wire wrapping there. I just don't want to have a sharp edge. Okay, so that's what we're going to have, sort of that bulky, messy wrap. And now I'm going to start layering. So I'm going to put my wild rose bead on there. And then I'm going to put on my little rhinestone spacer. And then we've got our little bead cap. And then our bellflower. And then we've got our 6mm fire polish there. So that's exactly what we want to have. Now I want to create another loop on the top here going in the same direction as this one. So the way that I do that is I turn it so that I can see the loop, and now I'm going to take this and bend it across, and then that way I know that this loop and this one are going to go in the same direction. So now I'm going to take my round nose pliers again and go back to the exact same spot, and I go up and over and straight down. Open up my pliers, rotate them, and then pull that straight to the back. And now you will see that it's tipped way over there. So now I'm going to rotate that until it's right up on top, and then I just bring that little arm down. And now you can see that it's right where I want it to be. So I want to place my distressed ring on there, or a little hammer tone ring, whatever we're calling that today. Now I just kind of open that up with my thumbnail, and sometimes you have to pull it a little bit more. There we go. And now I want to wrap that up. So I'm going to get my pliers in there, and sometimes you have to boss it in there a bit. Grab the end of that wire and wrap around. So I'm just going to wrap a couple times down and then go back up once or twice and just kind of get it to a point where you're happy with it. And then we're going to come in and trim that off. And now I want to find that little burr on the end, and it's right there. And again, we're just going to tuck that in. So I don't want to push too hard because you can really wreck your wire. All I'm looking for is that it's not sticking out and creating a little sharp edge there. Okay, so now we've got our piece, and I just have a little look at it and make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. So these two loops are supposed to be going exactly the same direction, and it looks like they are. And then I check it this way to make sure that nothing is sort of tipped. And this one looks like it's tipped ever so slightly, so I'm just going to sort of boss that back to where I want it, and everything looks good. Okay, so now we're going to put on our ear wire. So I'm going to open that up, and then I'm going to put my ring through there, and then I'm going to do this one up. And I just kind of jiggle it back and forth until the end meets there. I want it to be nice and tight so that this doesn't have any chance of falling off. So let me just make the other one off of camera, and then I'm going to clear this all off, and I'll be right back. So there you go. So earrings never look cute when they're laying flat, and they don't even look great when they're in my hand like this. They always look so much better when they're hanging from an ear. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of how sweet these ones are. So really all I've done is just taken some really simple parts and shown you that you can layer the same colors for a little bit of visual interest, stack a few different things in ways that you never thought, and you're just going to create something that's a little bit more exciting to look at. So as always, these will be available in kit form. You just go to www.kelliesbeadboutique.com. Make sure to spell Kelly with an IE, or you can go into the description box below the video where there's a link that will take you to my fully secure website. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, as I love to hear from everybody, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.